For me, it was kind of therapeutic because my mom did go to prison when I was a toddler. And it was just something like we never talked about. Like when she got out of prison, like she got custody of me a few years later. And I actually called my grandma mom. So I was like, wait, like, who are you again? Like, so it just kind of felt awkward. And at that time, I was like a preteen, and we just never discussed it. And when she got custody of me, school started like a week later. So it was like, you're moving from Oklahoma to Florida, you go school shopping, she works all the time. So there was no time to even like bond and get to know each other. And everyone she dated from there were like drug dealers. Like my stepdad, that's the same reason she went to prison. And so that was like the life that I was accustomed to. So even though that's not the path that my life took, I feel like that's the life that I knew growing up. And so for me, love, my mom never hugged me. She never said I love you. It was, I'm gonna get you whatever you want. Like, I don't have the time, but I have the money. So that was her way of expressing love. So when I talked about freedom, there's a shift in my mentality. It started when I went to college. I was like, oh wait, like, this shit means nothing. Like, all this time I'm thinking like, oh, it doesn't matter, like I have this and I have these material things, but who am I? So that was my
that piece about Baltimore and my mom. That piece was hard for me to come to. It's literally been this lifelong thing of recognizing my vulnerability not as weakness but as strength. When you grow up in a community like Baltimore where everybody just has a mask on and they're very guarded and very tough, you know what I mean? No one wants to be sussed out or seen because then you get picked on, then you get into fights, then you're weak, you're not respected, right? So it was, my family is some really hard people. They're very sensitive in other ways and very genuine and very generous, but they're very tough, cold people, you know what I mean, at first glance. And I grew up feeling like something was wrong with me. You know, that's why I was what's in the what's wrong with my body part of the show. Like, I'm like, well, why am I not like this? Why am I not fighting people? You know, I was always told, it was like rites of passage. Oh, you want to fight somebody in 3rd grade, girl? Just get ready. Just get ready. And I'm like, I am? Oh, shit. You know what I mean? Like, my older cousins would tell me these things, and I'm like, man, like, I don't have that in me. Is something wrong with me? You know, like, and fearing for my life for real. I'm not a fighter, though. That's not me, you know? And I think we need to spread that message that we don't all need to be like that. As black people, like, a lot of that is some PTSD from slavery shit. Like, you gotta, like, do this thing and always be on guard and be ready and stay ready and all of that when you're in the hood. But, like, some of us are not like that. And that's okay. Just say it's okay, you know? So just even writing that as a confessional was very difficult for me. It was a poem at first, and then it became a monologue. Which allowed me to just fluff out some more. So that one was definitely the one for me.
I think for me, I actually cut a piece that was supposed to be in the poem, but you know, just not necessarily didn't fit. The piece I feel for me was more personal. Was a piece about my father. And I lost my father years ago, and I just lost my mother recently. So I didn't really want to kind of go into that space. But I cut that piece. It was a piece about me coming out, just the moment. I'm just going to share it with y'all. The story of me coming out with my father. So I had this, the car that he bought me, my first car. My freshman year of college, and I had the sticker, rainbow sticker on the back. And I'm, in Rouville, Mississippi, little bitty town, 2,000 people. And I'm going off to college, and every weekend I come home, whatever, some weekends he would grab my car, like, oh, I'm gonna ride your car. All right, cool. So my family owned a lot of businesses and things like that. And so I would always come home on weekend and work at the store. And he would take, that's when he would take my car. So one day, I'm actually going to Africa. Crazy story, man, I'm thinking about it. You're ready to go to Africa. My mom's like, yo, your dad want to talk to you. I'm like, all right. She's like, go to the store. He wants to check in with you. I'm like, all right. I go to the store. Just he and I were in there, and I remember he's literally like cutting up these onions and stuff, prepping for dinner stuff. So I'm like, what's up? You know, and my dad and I were really tight, like really tight. But this like shocked me because he's just standing there, just cutting, not saying anything. I'm like, all right, dude, what's up? So he's like, yeah. So your sister told me what the rainbow on the back of your car mean. I was like, oh shit, because I never told him. So then he's like, yeah. He's just still cutting his onions. He's like, why you didn't tell me? I was like, why didn't I tell you? He's like, got me riding around in that car. People think I'm gay. So it's so crazy because I told my mother a year before, and I'm rationalizing, we all do, like, all right, I'm gonna tell my mom because she's gonna be cool. I'm gonna tell my dad, he's gonna forget. It was the opposite. My mom didn't talk to me for like a year. Literally, we've been in the same house, and she's like, whatever. But my dad was like, yo, I don't care what you do. I don't care if you climb trees for it. He was like, the thing about it, I want you to be safe. I want you to remember where you are. You're black, you're a girl, and you're in Mississippi. He said, now you're adding another layer to it. And that just really that has just stayed with me just my entire life. It was just the reality of where I grew up from, what I grew up in and who I am. So that's a piece that I'm actually sharing now, but not sharing. But that's a piece that was taken out of the show. So I'm gonna fast forward really quickly. The piece that I did though, early up in the show, being black and body, I really wanted to do that piece tonight though, because last year I had to experience sitting in a courtroom in Mississippi, in Louisville, that I hadn't been back in 7 years. I had to experience sitting in a courtroom in the Delta of Mississippi, where a white man, who they call the hanging judge, was going to give my brother 15 years in prison for a fight in his own home, because he was fighting a man who was in his house. And we're literally, my 9 siblings and I are in this courtroom bawling our eyes out. And that reality for me was something I never want my people to freaking experience. And so being black and body is like, it's our reality, it's our hard truth, but those stories need to be shared. Our boys especially need to just be held and hugged and loved and just protected in so many ways. So yeah, that's all I got.
All right.
I feel like I typically only like to write and perform pieces that are from my own personal experience, not really like third person. And I feel like the first piece that I performed was third person. I'm talking about just like masculine presenting folk and the type of violences. I grew up most of my life masculine presenting, like always was like with my brother playing basketball and as part of like reclaiming parts of myself, because in the suburbs, like I knew that like white girls loved black boys, everybody hated black girls, and I so badly did not want to be read as a black girl. So I was masculine presenting as a survival mechanism, and just when I was at UC Santa Cruz, still masculine presenting, I was raped in public on the beach at a bonfire. And Santa Cruz culture is very hippy-dippy, anything goes, so there was no like bystander intervention. And this was shocking to me, because like I am in, baggy pants, sweater, like I just didn't think that catcalling was always a thing, but there's just something in there that I'm just like, men don't want me in those ways. And so, yeah, I mean, it was a lot to deal with. I understand that masculine presenting folk also deal with particular things. I think we live in a culture where we tend to center particular bodies, we center femme bodies, we center queer bodies, but in that centering, like we also erase the stories of people who also go through things. Masculine presenting folk do get catcalled. We do have violences happen against us. And so, though that poem I shared first, it was like this third person perspective, is really important. Like my work is to talk about things that go untalked about. Like that's just what I'm interested in doing. I think it's important to bring all narratives to the plate because they all matter. Yeah.
Tammy, do you have a song that you're particularly attached to or feel a special affection for?
Y'all try.
Actually, so randomly, the song that I was most attached to this time around, she didn't write, and it's that Desiree, I'm not moving, or I ain't moving. When she said we were gonna sing it, I was so excited, and I think anybody in this room who knows me knows I never know the lyrics to anything. Like, I come to rehearsal week after week after week, and we not know the words. And you know, I be working through it in my heart, and you probably don't believe me. I be at work with my earphones on, really trying to get my memory together, but it doesn't work. But when she said we were gonna sing it, I immediately was like, this was my song, and sang through all the lyrics. And Rashida goes, I don't think I've ever seen you know the words. But the conversation behind it was that I remember that Valerie gave me the CD in like 93, 95 when she was going to college. And it was a CD that saved my life. Because Desiree's lyrics in this whole CD was about knowing self and loving self and being strong enough to see self. And I think at that point, kind of having the same story as Champel, having parents who weren't around and a grandparent who didn't really say I love you, but